step outside with a scoop of birdseed in one hand, the same coffee mug, the same comfortable shoes, the same familiar walk across the yard toward the feeder. You probably don't think much about it, but somewhere in a nearby tree, along the fence, or perched on a power line, birds are already watching. Not out of idle curiosity, they're studying you. Long before the first seed hits the feeder, they're observing your movements, comparing them to what they've seen before, and deciding whether you're someone they can trust. Here's the surprising part. After just a few weeks of feeding them, those birds know far more about you than most people realize. Birds don't simply react to their surroundings. They constantly interpret them, every rustling leaf, every shifting shadow, every unfamiliar sound, and every movement outside your back door is information. Their survival depends on noticing patterns, remembering details, and making smart decisions. And if you feed birds regularly, you've become one of those patterns. Most people think feeding birds is a simple exchange. You provide food, and the birds eat it, but that's only half the story. The moment you became a reliable food source, the birds began learning everything they could about you. Your face, your routine, your habits. They built a profile of you, because understanding you helps them survive. By the end of this video, you'll see yourself through their eyes, and it's a much stranger perspective than you'd expect. You might think your schedule is unpredictable. The birds would disagree. From a nearby branch with a clear view of your back door, a chickadee or housefinch can watch your kitchen window. It notices when the lights come on. It hears the screen door open. It recognizes the sound of the seed container before it ever sees you. After only several days of the same routine, something remarkable happens. The birds begin arriving before you. This isn't luck. Small birds burn enormous amounts of energy just staying alive. During winter, a chickadee can lose around 10% of its body weight overnight. That's an incredible amount for such a tiny animal. They can't afford to waste energy checking empty feeders all day. Instead, they learn exactly when food usually appears. They connect tiny clues together. The porch light switching on, the sound of your footsteps, the opening of the back door, the rattle of the seed container. Soon those clues become a predictable sequence. By the end of the first week, many birds adjust their daily routine around yours. Rather than searching farther away, they'll wait in nearby trees because experience tells them you're about to arrive, and it gets even more interesting. If you're late one morning, many birds don't immediately leave. Some simply wait for quite a while. Their previous experience has taught them that you're reliable, so they expect you to appear eventually. Think about that for a moment. Without any training or communication, a group of wild animals has developed an accurate model of your daily routine. If you want to help them even more, try feeding around roughly the same time each day. It doesn't have to be exact, but consistency helps birds spend less energy searching for food, especially during colder months. Learning your schedule is only the beginning. The next thing they learn is you, not your family, not your neighbor, not the delivery driver. Scientists discovered just how powerful bird recognition can be while studying members of the crow family. Researchers wore distinctive masks while capturing and tagging wild birds. Weeks, months, and even years later, birds reacted aggressively whenever those same masks appeared again. Some even warned other birds about the familiar face. Songbirds may not match the memory of crows, but they're far more observant than many people assume. From their perch, they notice your height, Your walking style, the colors you usually wear, your posture, and the way you move through the yard. Over time, those details becomes your identity. A safe human. You can even test it yourself. Have someone else refill the feeder while you stay inside. Many birds will hesitate longer before landing. Some may stay hidden until they recognize you nearby. That's not coincidence. It's recognition. From a bird's perspective, making the wrong decision can be fatal. Mistaking a harmless person for a threat wastes precious energy. Mistaking a dangerous person for a safe one could end its life. That's why evolution has rewarded birds that become skilled at recognizing individual humans. You already have your own file stored in their memory. If you're just beginning to feed birds, moving slowly and wearing similar clothing during the first couple of weeks can make it easier for them to recognize you as a trusted part of their environment. But birds don't only recognize your appearance, they read your body language. A bird can't wait until danger actually arrives. It has to predict danger before it happens. That's why it pays attention to how fast you're walking, whether your movements are calm or rushed, whether you're focused on your phone or scanning your surroundings, and whether your body appears relaxed or tense. A bird can gather all of that information in only a second. Walk into the yard calmly with your coffee, and many birds barely react. Rush outside while stressed, moving quickly and talking loudly on your phone, and those same birds may scatter immediately. Nothing about you changed, except your behavior. The birds noticed. This ability comes from millions of years of living alongside predators. Hawks, cats, and other hunters reveal their intentions through movement long before they attack. Birds evolved to read those signals. Humans get analyzed the same way. On stressful mornings, slowing down before stepping outside can make a noticeable difference, not just for the birds, but for yourself as well. Perhaps the most fascinating thing birds develop is an internal map of your yard. A cardinal perched in the hedge knows where the nearest cover is. It remembers which trees provide the fastest escape route if a hawk appears. It knows which bushes offer real protection, which branches sway too much to land safely, where sunlight reaches first in the morning, and even which windows are most likely to hide a curious cat. You may have lived there for years. The birds may have lived there only weeks. Yet in many ways, they know your yard better than you do. And once you started feeding them, you became part of that map. Your back door became a landmark. Your path across the lawn became a familiar route. The exact spot where you refill the feeder became a location with its own level of safety and meaning new. Birds quickly learn these landmarks by watching experienced ones. Trust spreads, so does caution. If something frightening happens, a hawk attack, a prowling cat, or a sudden disturbance, the birds immediately update their mental map. Areas they once used confidently may be avoided for days. Their understanding of your yard is constantly changing. You can help by keeping things consistent. Avoid moving feeders too often or making sudden changes to your routine whenever possible. Stability helps birds feel secure and encourages them to return. So what have the birds already learned about you? They know when you're likely to appear. They recognize your face. They notice your mood. They remember your favorite path across the yard. They know which door you use and how you usually move. Day after day, they quietly update everything they've learned. You thought you were simply feeding birds. In reality, You've become part of their world. While you've been watching them, they've been watching you just as carefully, learning, remembering, and adapting every single day. Tomorrow morning, before you head to the feeder, pause for a few seconds. Look around your yard and imagine it through a bird's eyes. What patterns do you think they've discovered about you? Share your thoughts in the comments. I always enjoy reading your stories. Nature is constantly communicating. All we have to do is pay attention. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.